The Chicago Bears had their 19th day of training camp today. And of course, me and Bobby are here to break down the takeaways, everything that went down. Apparently, Caleb Williams and Keenan Allen had a big day. We're going to talk about all and more right after this.
Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. Me and Bobby in the building today.
Yeah.
Hey, it was a light day of practice reportedly today. Very light day. And I expect the rest of the practices to be pretty light. The last preseason game coming up in 3 days. After that, we got 2 weeks basically until the season starts. I expect the team to take it very light through that to make sure that they get through with everybody with no injuries or anything like that. Jaquan Brisker was back at practice today, which seems really good. But we got something concerning, bro. Apparently, see, this is why Valus needs to get up off my team. Romo Dunze dropped 2 punts and then also dropped some passes today. It's contagious, my boy. Are you concerned about Romo Dunze in the
drive me crazy? What?
How you feeling about Rome and the drop passes today, brother?
Look, man, I know sometimes it happens, but bro, I see you catch the ball when it was raining outside, live. So no excuses. What we doing? You can't say it's the sun. Look, I'm gonna take it for just him having one of those days. But I don't like the sound of it because we know what drop punts has done to us these last few years. Mm-hmm. So please get it together. Please get it together.
Yeah, listen, if you're gonna be dropping punts, keep his ass just catching
passes. Facts. Keep it simple.
Yeah, we ain't got nothing to look at in that one. But more positive, and I know I put this one in the title. Keenan Allen had maybe his best practice since he's been a member of the Chicago Bears. Catching the touchdown on 11-on-11s, caught another touchdown, I think on 7-on-7s as well. And this is after no, they both were on 11-on-11s. Just had to take a look. So 2 touchdowns in the 11-on-11 period. This is after Caleb Williams threw a pick 6 that was intercepted by Kyler Gordon. But how you feel about that? Because one thing, the chemistry with Caleb, Keenan Allen, Keenan even said it wasn't quite there in the initial OTAs. Now it seems like it may be getting there. How you feeling about this, Bob?
I'm feeling pretty damn good. And this is why we come on here on Chicago Bears Central and tell the people, yes, listen to what we say. But don't take it as, you know what I'm saying, as being the Bible. Look at the stuff for what it really is. Draw your own conclusions. Form your own opinion. Because for some strange reason, somebody placed out all 22 calling Keenan Allen fat, saying he can't really utilize his speed. Hey, idiot, if you ever watch Keenan Allen, he's not the fastest guy. That's why we said, hey, he's a tactician when it comes to running routes. Mm-hmm. And that's what it comes down to when you talk about some of the best wide receivers in this league. Did anybody sell DeAndre Hopkins short? He ain't the fastest guy, but he can separate and jump over you. Same thing can be said about Keenan Allen. So this right here, I love that it's coming out. I never really paid attention to people calling him slow fat. Look, we're going to take a few things from the preseason and say, hey, this is good. But what matters the most is when the helmets get strapped up and everybody ready to go during week 1. That's when it all matters. So I'm happy to hear this, but I was never really concerned.
Yeah, I mean, and I won't be surprised if you actually see Keenan Allen line up more in the slot than Rome Dunze. I know I've personally kept talking about like Rome being in that slot, but I think you may see that just because of him being a tactician with route running and kind of being a safety net for Caleb Williams. So we'll see what happens some on that one. But overall, I'm glad that they're getting it together. This like I said, keep saying this is kind of what you want to hear at this point in the preseason, that all the kind of wrinkles are being worked out, especially with everybody being healthy. That's the biggest part of it.
Of course. And I think that there's still things that this offense is going to have to work out. Yes, it looks good on certain moments. It's going to be a different look when it comes to when the second stringers and the third stringers come out there compared to when the ones come out there. We already know this, and we've been telling you guys for the last few months. Yes, we know Caleb is very, very talented. Yes, we just seen in the last preseason game he's going to make outstanding plays and be exactly what we hope he's going to be. But when it comes down to, you know what I'm saying, catching a rhythm, that's going to have to come from Caleb Williams, Shane Waldron, and the other guys that's a part of this offense. And it's going to take time before they really, really hit their stride.
How in seeing what we've seen, the little glimpses, because I don't expect that we're going to see any of the starters on Thursday. I just want to make that clear. Maybe I'm wrong on that. We'll see what Matt Eberflus ends up announcing. But from what you seen a little bit, because we know it's a little bit, not the full playbook, How do you still think it's going to be a slow start for the offense, or do you think it's going to be more so maybe we have a limited playbook early and we add on to a week from week? How are you expecting that offense to kind of look to start the season?
I think it's gonna be like one of those step by step plans. I don't think you're gonna see the full playbook early on. I believe that's gonna be something that's happening come during weeks. That's gonna happen during the season. I believe early on you're gonna see some missteps. Caleb Williams already talked about it and hold himself accountable. Hey, sometimes I'm holding on to the ball too long. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm.
the one sack that was given up, you know what I'm saying, against my offensive line, that was on me. It's things like that. And it's gonna take some time because it's gonna have to come an adjustment period to where, like, if Shane Waldron is trying to implement things that Caleb Williams doesn't necessarily like, it's gonna be a few weeks into the season, and Caleb Williams like, hey man, I know you didn't call this thing a couple games in a row. Can we just get rid of this or try to change it in this way to where I can see it or process it a lot faster? It's gonna be a working process. They always say these quarterbacks are not going to master these systems until year 2, sometimes year 3. So he got a lot of time to master this. We just hope that he can excel. And really, if you're thinking about it, preseason game 2 is kind of like what you're hoping to see, at least to start off. Obviously, you want it to get better, but you want Caleb Williams, even in those 3 and outs, take care of the football. We're going to flip the field with this punter we got. Our defense going to kick the other teams in the ass. And then when it's time to shine, and then when you catch the rhythm, just go make sure you put points on the board.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And I had to correct myself. I said 3 touchdown passes to Keenan Allen in
Get my
today's
guy his hat trick.
Yeah, come on. 3 of them. Let me quote myself correctly on that one. But yeah, shout out to them. Interceptions have seemed to slowly start becoming more of the thing in practice. With Caleb Williams, he got picked off by Tremaine Edmonds, last week in practice a couple of times. Kyler Gordon today, interception for a pick 6. Javon Dexter tips the pass at the line of scrimmage. I'm not going to use that to talk about Caleb Williams. We're going to flip this to the defense. How many takeaway? Like, are we going to be one of the better takeaway teams in the NFL this season on the defensive side of the ball?
Oh yeah, I already got the Bears penciled in for 50 sacks. That's just
Okay.
me personally. Simply because the last few seasons they've been barely able to get 40. So I think they explode and get, rise up the charts. Maybe not lead the league in sacks, but I definitely think they get up to 50 simply because you've seen Matt Eberflus in pivotal moments dial up the blitz from the corner slot. Kyler Gordon can get there. And then you also talking about the potential of seeing the lineup that I think will be very, very good to see in Austin Booker, DeMarcus Walker, Javon Dexter, and Montez Sweat. So I think that's going to wreak a lot of havoc. I think they got the players in the best places that they can be at for right now. And if we seen that these guys are out there running around like chickens with their hair cut off and getting right in the passing lanes and picking shit off already, I expect it to continue for sure.
That's a fact. That's a fact. With the defense as well, we've seen a lot of solid play on that defensive line from multiple players. The defensive line has been really good at attacking the run, getting pressure on the quarterback. Not a whole lot of sacks, but getting pressure on the quarterback so far. When you look at Javon Dexter, who's had a solid practice today, we've heard a lot about him basically since training camp started. Didn't see a whole lot as far as the numbers, as far as like the stats wise in the preseason. Has this preseason play done anything as far as positively or negatively on your outlook of Javon Dexter coming into the 2024 season?
Not at all. I think right now the guys is they want to get reps. I think that right now you don't want to give away everything. Like I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, in some plays you can see wide receivers. Yes, they are running the routes, but are they running the routes with conviction? No, not all of them, and not on every single play. I think the goal is to get Caleb the reps, but it also is, just to get everybody comfortable. Now I expect the intensity to pick up. I expect guys to do and really go out there and let their skills translate when the regular season comes around. Look, I want to say this right now. If people would think that Javon Dexter is going to come out here and have 15 sacks, hey, that'd be great. But with the position that he plays in so early on in his career, I don't see that happening. Now, double digits, it could be right there, but I'm looking more so about eight sacks for Javon Dexter on the year. And I think that right now, the biggest thing that you want to see from him and the other interior defensive lineman, whoever they may be at the start of the season, is to do your damn job and force the opposing team's quarterback to be forced into passing situations so you can let that great secondary do what they do, and now you can tee off. It's not just about teeing off on every single down. That's what I want people to understand.
That's a great point. That's a great point. Kyler Gordon was asked about this defense, and he said this. I feel like there's a surge of energy that has been there since we came in the first day. Everyone's starving. Everyone wants to eat in some type of way to build off each other and start making plays and doing our job. That's the culture we've created in our locker room. It's kind of uncommon. We don't want to be the same as everyone else. We want to strive to be the best team that we can be. And that's felt. That's literally felt, bro. Like, and I know it's easy to get caught up in the hype around the defense. It is like, but it's just something, and I hate that you can't really quantify it. Something just feels different about this Bears defense this year.
It does. It kind of took us back to that when we had that trade with Khalil Mack came in, and we was like, oh yeah, it's go time. It's go
That's
time.
a fact. That's a fact.
It's go time. And I think it's go time right now. It's just that this defensive unit is much more younger, much more athletic, and I believe they got more pieces in position. So I'm looking at it for like, bro, it's getting closer and closer to turn up, and we definitely about to see that. Ain't many teams about to do too much against this Bears defense, and I got to give credit to the guys on the defensive side of the ball, like Montez Sweat staying out to practice. They've been showing that. You know what I'm saying? And reporting that Montez Sweat staying out to practice. Hey, Darnell Wright, when I go this way, you know what I'm saying? You do this, or here goes some counters and stuff like that. And Kyler Gordon staying back with Reddy Stewart, working on him. And it's not just about the now for some of these guys that's still trying to make the team. To me, that shows good leadership. You know what I'm saying? Even if you might not be here and be balling out with me, I want to see what's best for you just because I believe in you and who you are as a player and a person. So I got to show love to those guys that's out there putting in that extra work.
Yeah, putting in the extra work is the key thing, and you know, I've always worded it as you want to see this Bears defense pick up where it left off last year. We started off very bad as far as defensively, right? And when we finished the season, if I'm not mistaken, we were like a top 8 defense over the last like 8 weeks of the season. So you want to see them pick up on that with the talent that they've added, with all that type of stuff. You want to see them pick up and continue and where they left off. You've added things. You've added Kevin Byard, who should be better than what Eddie Jackson was for you. You're looking at the players to make steps in the right direction, leaps, right? Yeah, Justin Jones is gone, but Javon Dexter seems ready. This linebacking crew, another year of continuity. And that secondary, I keep talking about it all day long. Secondary about to be crazy, bro. Secondary's about to be crazy.
They definitely about to go crazy, bro. And I think that a lot of people said that Tremaine Edmonds had that slow start. He did come on, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the season. But now I think he comes in ready to play, like right off and be that Pro Bowler that we signed. So I think it's that he's gonna be an integral part of this. TJ Edwards is still gonna be good at what he does. When you talk about the linebacker crew, Jaquan Brisker is back at practice. You know what I'm saying? Not participating fully, but doing some things. So he's edging closer and closer as the season gets ready to start. We got a lot to be excited about, bro, on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, the defense is the thing that, and I hope it doesn't blow up in my face. I'm not really worried about the defense. I think this defense is going to have the intensity that we want. That's indicative of the Chicago. And I always say this: every time the Chicago Bears are good, we have a great defense. That's just our history, right? Now, we're hoping that this time we have an offense that matches the defensive intensity. That's how we're going to get further along than what we have. But like, you need that Chicago Bears defense and a Bears defense that brings the energy and has an identity. That's when Chicago feels like it's at its best. And so that's what we need and want to see from this team this upcoming year. So let's hope that continues as well. Let's switch back to the offense. Nate Davis has given up the only sack so far in preseason. He gave it up to a rookie. And the Chicago Bears offensive line coach did say that he wanted to take a look at Mike Pryor a little bit more out there with the starting lineup. Now, in today's practice, we had the same starting lineup: Coleman Shelton, Nate Davis, Tevin Jenkins, Darnell Wright, Braxton Jones. That was still the starting offensive line. Do you think that with the offensive line coach saying that, do you think that Nate Davis has the starting position solidified yet?
No. And I think that me personally, if I'm looking at the history, I'm looking at the injury history. And, I'm not going to knock the personal stuff, but we have to bring it up. The personal things that took him away from football last season, which you understand. Let's not get let's not get that misconstrued. You understand the personal things that went on, but the injury started to come into play. The lackluster play that was present during his time while he was in the game, and then the lack of availability during this year's training camp. And then you still got some questions at that spot. And you came in, and in your preseason moments while Nate Davis was out, Matt Pryor, one big ass fella, by the way, big as hell, he played pretty damn well. And I'm all for it. Put Nate Davis on notice. Matt Eberflus already kind of did it. The offensive line coach Simo is now doing it. We need the best 5 men out there. We don't care about feelings. We understand how much you're getting paid, but we need the best 5 men out there. And if that comes with getting a closer look at Matt Pryor to see if he can fit better than a Nate Davis, I'm all for it. I want to win games. I want to win games. Everybody wants to win games. 10 games we've won in 2 seasons. Can we get 10 in 1 season? Please.
That's the crazy part, bro. Like I like the fact that we're heading into our 3rd season. We've talked about 10 wins in a little over 2 years is crazy, bro.
Right.
It's crazy. But,
crazy.
Nonetheless, we should have a lot more wins coming up on the horizon. But speaking about wins, I think this is a great time to start segueing into some of the predictions that have come out so far for the Chicago Bears before we end the show today. We got predictions from a lot of the major outlets. Bleacher Report predicted the Bears to go 9-8. ESPN, Courtney Cronin predicted the Bears to go 10-7. You got Gene Cumberland from Sports Illustrated 10-7 there as well, and Yahoo Sports at 9-8. So, I mean, if you average that out, that's an average 9.5 wins. How do you feel about that being the mark for this Bears team? 9.5 wins this season.
I started at 9. I went up to 10 for me personally, and I think right there it's on the money. I know it's gonna be some people that's ultimate fan guys, and I'm with you. I'm a homer too, but I gotta look at what I'm saying, what the team has shown me and how early they are, and still at this stage right now. You know what I'm saying? So I believe 10 games is fair, and you go from there. Now, if they exceed their expectations, I'm all for it. But I think that right now, the Bears, with the schedule that they have in place, 10 wins is very, very obtainable. You can capture that goal, and then you can possibly be pushing for a playoff spot depending on how you match up within other guys within this conference that you're going to be facing off against, and more specifically, how you fare against your division rivals, because they coming. You know what I'm saying? They coming. They right there with you.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a deep division. Even with what the Vikings have going on injury wise, still just between the Lions, the Packers, and the Bears, like it's about to be a tough division to get into. And then also when you look at how the Bears end the season, like our last 3 games of the season are against Detroit, Seattle, and Green Bay. Minnesota, if you want to throw in that last 4.
Yeah.
Hey, if there's no better way to make sure you playoff tested, really, if you look at the last 5 overall, San Fran is that 5th game, December 8th, my birthday weekend.
For sure.
We got tests coming up. I think the 9.5 mark is fair. When you look at it, the Bears won 7 games last year, 7 games in which the defensive line started off the season piss poor. The offense was hit and miss all season long. You've shored up a lot of your weaknesses. You still got to prove it on the field in an actual regular season NFL game. But I don't think that's a bad place to be in. Like if the Bears can win 10 games this year, on the first year of your rookie quarterback, the first year of your new offensive coordinator, the first year of the new Matt Eberflus, because this is different. This ain't Eberflus. This is Flus. We got Coach Flus now. It's a little bit different.
He got a nickname.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's a great foundation to start building off on. And if we get above, I'll tell y'all what right now. If we get above 10 wins this season, y'all can't tell me shit. I'm sorry. I know my dad's in the chat. I saw my dad in there earlier. My apologies. But like, y'all can't. If the Bears get over 10 wins this season, I'm going to be the most annoying Bulls content creator all offseason. That's all I can say. Y'all just gonna hate me. Packers fans gonna hate me. I'm showing up in Lions fans chats. They've been showing up in ours the last 3 years.
Facts.
I'm killing everybody. So.
The real. And I think it's very, very possible. But one thing I got to throw in, Haize. Okay. Every season has that one disappointing loss. That one you just let slip away. When it comes, I want to know, when do they allow it to come? and how resilient they are. We've shown that they can bounce back. They had a decent finish to their season last season after those horrible games against Denver, Tampa, Detroit last season, and they kind of righted their wrongs towards the end of the season with didn't always result in wins, but they kind of righted their wrongs and played more competitive football. But I want to see, how do they apply pressure, and will they keep their foot on the gas if they start to string together some wins? Because before this bye week, just about every game on this list is winnable. And then how do you come out the bye week? That's good. That's going to be the key moments for me. How do you go into the bye week, and how do you come after it? Come out of it. I'm really, really looking at that stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think, and I've said that leading up to the bye week, you got 6 games. Those 6 games gives your offense chance to work out all the kinks. I hope that's the case. Hell, if they can work it out before, then great. But then after the bye week, the fact that we don't play any divisional games until after the bye week, that's going to be key. It's like, because that gives the Bears, the team that has the rookie quarterback, a chance to completely ramp up. Most of the other teams in the division have been together for a while. Of course, Minnesota has its own shit going on again. But to answer your question, you said, when is the game that we let slip away that I'm worried about being that game? Week 11 in Chicago against Green Bay. It's going to be so much anticipation building up to that game. Caleb Williams' first game against Green Bay at Soldier Field. I'm just worried that the pressure of that moment, not necessarily saying it's going to get to Caleb. He's been playing big games all his career. But if I'm worried about any game being, you don't let that be the one that slips away. Don't, come on now. Not at home against the Packers, bro.
Yeah, I think that's one. Because for me, at least when I'm always watching, it's not like they always come out in the first quarter and kick our ass from start to finish these last few years. It's always the third quarter. Always the third quarter. It'd be a tight game, quarter 1 and 2, and then the third quarter, the wheels just fall off, the transmission just fell to the floor, and it looks ugly. And we slamming headphones, cussing people out in the chat because they saying dumb stuff, and then it's just not a good Sunday for us. So I hope that they get this shit together for real. I really do, because if you catch fire those 3 weeks prior, who knows what can happen? Who knows?
And I love the fact that the Bears, they don't have a lot of short weeks this year. We got 2 Thursday night games. That's it this season. So, like, on top of having the bye, I think we got the bye week in the perfect spot in week 7 for this team. So all those things being what they are, man, really excited about this. We got one question I want to get into before we get out of here, Bobby. From Quentin, she says, I know this might be an off subject, but I would like to know if you guys would like to try and do a meet and greet.
Yeah, man. We already working on it.
Just know it's in the works.
We working on it.
Let us get through this DraftKings sponsorship first, and then because we were actually planning, so a little peek behind inside baseball. We were getting ready to start planning our meet and greet, but then the DraftKings hit us up about something. So we want to get that solidified, get all the kinks worked out for that, get the plan so we can announce that, launch that, because that's week 2 of the season. So we're basically exactly a month. That's September 15th. We'll be hosting a live watch party with DraftKings. We'll be doing some giveaways, so we need to get that locked in. But shortly thereafter that, we're gonna get the live watch party. I'm gonna try to get my dad, since he's in here as well. I'm gonna try to get my dad to pull up and my son Xavier to pull up. I'm gonna try to get those 2 guys to pull up as well.
Let's go. That'll be lit. But Haize, I got one question for you.
Okay.
I don't believe that the Bears gonna play these guys on this Thursday, but here's a caveat. If Andy Reid say, hey, I'm giving Patrick Mahomes 2 series, do Eberflus, do you see how you match up against the defending champs, or you just say to hell with it?
The Bears fan in me wants to say yes. The Bears, just the pure fandom part of me wants to say yes. The logical side of my brain, because we've seen that Matt Eberflus doesn't like to play starters in the last preseason. We got 2 years of data on that. He typically doesn't like to play them. I'm leaning towards no, but listen, if they do, do you know how the pandemonium that would be going on even if they, let's say Mahomes plays 2 series and Caleb plays 2 series and Caleb outplays Mahomes in those 2 series?
Oh my God, Bears gonna be
Bears fans are gonna be annoying, bro. Like,
They gonna say we about to get 6 championships in 7 years. You
That's
already know
crazy,
they
bro.
gonna be
That's
going
exactly what's
crazy.
gonna happen. That's exactly what's gonna happen. But we'll see.
I agree
man.
with you on that train of thought, though. I say, hey, just do what's best for you and your team. I feel like you got a lot of meaningful reps in this last game. It's cool, man. You ain't got nothing else to prove. Let's get ready for this regular season.
Yep. Get ready for the regular season. I can't wait. I just can't wait, bro. It's gonna be an exciting time. Unfortunately, and let me not say unfortunately. I got some news coming. I'll wait to drop it on the pregame. So y'all make sure y'all stay in for the pregame show, September 8th. The game's at 1 p.m. Eastern time, so we'll be live 12 p.m. Eastern time for the pregame show. I got some news dropping. I'm gonna leave it at that. Bobby don't even know what the news is yet.
Oh, come on now.
Bobby don't even know.
Come on now.
But man, we appreciate you guys for pulling up on us, man, here on the evening stream. We'll keep this going as long as training camp is going on. Make sure you guys are following us at Shy Bear Central. Make sure you guys are going over and following Bobby and C-Dub also at Shy Bulls Podcast with the Cognac Boys. Help go and get them to 7K. By the way, if y'all not subscribed to us, I just hit 20K on Chicago Bulls Central. So now it's 20K all year. We need to get to 20K on Chicago Bears Central before the end of the season. That's a little under 4,000 more subscribers between now and the end of the season. Y'all basically got 20 weeks to get us. 20 weeks. 20 weeks to get us to 20 weeks to get us to 20,000 subscribers. If y'all don't, I'm putting cases on all you bitches. But I love you guys. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, Chicago Bear Central at gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail, 773-242-9336. We're the number one spot